mention exactly what all of what will get done today, but got quite a long list, so there's no shortage of tasks that need to get done, so we're gonna get to work. Something struck me. Oh, lately. It is the first week of July. It's really early in the morning because in the first week of July, you have to get started really early because the sun is different in the south, and it starts really early. So the sun comes up, it gets hella hot by like 9-10 in the morning. So I try to get up and get going and get everything done, knocked out outside that I need to do super early. So I figured I'd bring y'all with me this time. We're gonna see how this goes. Usually I like get into the zone and I'm just silent. I just like listen to my birds. Wait, let's see if we can hear them. Hopefully you guys can hear that. I love my birdies. They keep me company normally when I'm doing this. Yes, you do, baby. So I usually am just quiet and listen to my birds, but we're gonna try to talk and work and see how this goes. I'm in zone 8B, and so I have a few things I need to get done before it gets hella hot, and so I'm gonna try to knock those out and kind of show you guys what I'm working on and what I got going back here, and hope that it makes sense in the end and doesn't sound completely like gibberish. I've tried cucumbers a few times already this season. Well, not a few, but twice. But I started them too early because we had a late frost here, and so my cucumbers died. So I just sowed some seeds for another cucumber, and it is coming up. I put 2 seeds in a 5-gallon bucket. You can grow 1 cucumber in a 5-gallon bucket because they're heavy feeders. They have really big roots, so you don't want to squish too many in there because it will reduce your fruit production. So I got one to come up. Let me spin you guys around so you can see it. She is looking good. Good, healthy, big. She's got her true leaves. This is some kind of brassica. I reuse my soil, so I don't know what that is. And then I mulched with Mexican sunflower, as well as some collard green seed pods that I had left over. Mexican sunflower is a great fertilizer because cucumbers are heavy feeders, and my sister brought me these Mexican sunflower leaves so that I could use for fertilizing and mulching. So yeah, I put them on my cucumber, I put some on my turmeric, and then I also put some on my tomatoes because tomatoes are also heavy feeders. But what I'm gonna do now is coat my cucumber plant in kaolin clay. It's really good for cucumber plants, so anything in the cucumber family basically, and squashes, because it's a great repellent for squash beetles, squash vine borer, aphids. You can Google it. There's a bunch of pests that kaolin clay does prevent. So if I start my seeds from my cucumber, it's inside. Normally, what I probably would prefer to do is like just dunk my plants in kaolin clay and coat the whole thing when they're little. But because I direct sowed this one, because like I said, the other ones died and I had to start over, I just keep a bottle of kaolin clay mixed with water in a spray bottle, and then I'm gonna spray it to coat it. And normally I do this maybe like once a week, depending on if it rains and all that good stuff. I keep my cucumbers plants coated with kaolin clay because the other thing is, like I said, here in the south the sun is different. So the other thing kaolin clay is good for is sunburn protection. So this will give it a coating. The white reflects the light so that the plants don't get burned. So I'm gonna coat the whole plant, including the stem, with kaolin clay spray now. And I'll just watch it. Once it starts fading, I'll give it a little bit more, and I'll just keep coating it every week or so. But we're gonna give it a good spray. Making sure I get the stem as well on all sides, as well as the under leaves, because that's where a lot of the pests like to hang out, is underneath the leaves. not necessarily on top. All right. This is actually harder than I thought because there's like nowhere to put the camera or anything to keep y'all with me. I have like just, I'm gonna show you, just a little space like to put my feet. It's literally an obstacle course. There's not a lot of ground here because I'm growing in a small space and I'm determined to maximize all this space. So apologies in advance for the video footage. I don't know, but I'm growing food, so that's the priority. Anywho, okay, so the cucumber has been coated with kaolin clay. The next thing I'm gonna do is sow some jack beans in the pot with the cucumber. So jack beans are native to Brazil, actually. They're in the legume family, obviously, because they're a bean, and legumes are good for providing nitrogen for plants. So I'm growing the jack bean because it's a bush bean, so it's not going to require a trellis because my cucumber is going to take over this whole trellis space. I'm not going to have any room to share, so I need something that doesn't need a trellis. Bush beans meet that. Cucumbers are heavy feeders, and so putting the legume in the bucket with the cucumber will help the cucumber get fed nitrogen. So as the legumes grow, it will also help to feed the cucumbers. And jack beans are hella expensive. I mean, like $1 a bean. So my good sister, I love her, bought us some pods, I think off Etsy. They're like $1 a bean. I mean, like ridiculous. Anyway, and she grew some for us. And so we've been just growing them for seed. So the other thing is I'm growing this in this pot, obviously, like I said, to feed my cucumber, but it's also for seed harvesting. I don't intend to eat any of these or process any of it. I just want to have more seeds so that I can keep producing and adding more beans in different places, because I won't be buying any more beans. So she bought like 5, grew us 5 plants, and each pod has like 10 beans in it. So it's really easy if you could just get a few going to harvest some of your own seeds. So that's what we're doing. So these are my jack beans. I have them soaking overnight. I like to soak my legumes to keep them, have them moist when they go in. And let me see, I'll show you guys. They are super big. Let's see my fingertip here. You can see how big they are. They're big. From like Jack and the Beanstalk. I'm showing my age. Okay. Anyway, so they're good and soaked. And what I'm going to do is put them into the pot. So let me show you guys that. Sowing beans is super easy. I'm just gonna, 2 is probably overkill for this 5 gallon, but I'm always pushing limits, so we're gonna try it. I'm gonna put them like further off the edge here so that they don't compete too much with my cucumber. I'm just gonna drop the bean in, push it down a little bit, and cover it up. And then I'm gonna do a little bit of mulch over it just until it comes up, and then I'll cover it some more. And then I'm gonna do the same on the other side. I'm just gonna push that up, dig my finger down just a little bit, and then I'm gonna drop my bean in the hole and cover it up. Beans are really easy. You don't have to be too concerned with like depth and all that stuff. They come up however they want to come up, and yeah, they're not fussy things to plant. So I got 2 beans in there. I'm gonna do the same thing for my tomatoes. These are the volunteer tomatoes that I found in my compost pile at the farm that I potted up a few weeks ago, I think it was. They've been pretty good. I mean, they're doing really good. They're much bigger now. Obviously, I'm pretty sure these are cherry tomatoes. I don't know what variety, because like I said, I just found them in a compost bin. So it's gonna be a surprise what kind of tomatoes these are. But I'm going to do the same thing I did to the cucumbers to the tomatoes. I'm gonna put 2 jack beans on each side because tomatoes are also heavy feeders. So this will help with nitrogen, and obviously I'm gonna do some fertilizing throughout as well. Maybe, we'll see how they do. But the jack beans will help. And then I'll get more seeds. And then those are gonna go over here. These tomato pots are gonna go over here. It's not a lot of space. Ignore the green stuff. Those are all weeds that I have to pull. I'm gonna pull those today. Those are so many weeds. But these are snow peas that I was growing for seed basically, and also an experiment. I've never grown over here. I added this trellis net to my fence, and then I put 1-gallon pots along the fence line, and I just put a few garden pea seeds in there, and I let them go, and they produced. So at this point, I was eating a few, but at this point I'm just saving them for seed because I sowed all my seeds. So these do not like heat. They are spring peas basically, so they're not gonna make it, they're gonna die. So I'm getting what I can get, and I'm taking them out. So these need to be taken down today, and the tomatoes are gonna go over here. So I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna plant my jack beans into my tomato pots, and then I'm gonna take out these garden peas and then move the tomatoes into this space right here. Seeds that I've been trying to get to, but I couldn't get to that space with the beans there. But these are all radish seed pods, so I'm gonna harvest those and plant them again next year. I love saving my own seeds. By growing these little plants, I definitely got more than what I bought. I doubled my return on investment, because you know when you buy seeds, they give you like 5 seeds a package or whatever. It's not really nothing. So sometimes when I'm growing a new variety like this is my first time growing this variety. Usually I'll plant all of them just because YOLO, right? And then next time when I grow it, I'll be able to have some. Obviously, if it's my first time growing the plant, I try it first to make sure I even want to grow it again the next year. But these are garden peas. Like, I knew I liked them when they first started producing. I sampled them, so I know that I do want to eat them. So let's see. I got a good little bit of pods. There's at least 3. Let me see, I'll open it up so you guys can see. There's at least 4. Even this little pod had 4 seeds in it. Make sure you guys can see that. Definitely not losing that one. I found it, don't worry. Yeah, so each little pod should have at least 3 or 4 seeds in it. So yeah, I'm happy with that. All right, I'm gonna take out these last couple plants and weed this other side, and then I'm done with it. was determined not to do today. So that's all the weeding that's gonna happen in that corner. It'll be all right. It'll be just fine. All right. So what I'm gonna do now is put my tomatoes in place, and then I'm also gonna put, let me show you. I have a African blue basil plant that my sister propagated for me from a plant that I gave her last year, because she's in Florida, so she can grow them as a perennial. So I'm putting this in between my tomato buckets because basil's really good for repelling. I forgot to show you guys what it looks like after clearing-ish. That's really tall. I'm gonna have to get those, but for the most part, weeds are clear. I'm just gonna put the buckets right on top of this, and they fit perfectly in this spot. I already dry fitted this 5 gallons, so I know it's gonna fit. Who needs yoga? Or you can just do gardening in a small space. Oh my God. Okay, I'm gonna show you guys what it looks like over there. Whew. They just fit. I brought the tomato over a little bit because that far corner is really shady, and tomatoes do need full sun, but not full sun in the summer. So I brought it over a little bit so it will get some shade, but not full shade. So that's my cherry tomato, African blue basil, and another cherry tomato. So they're gonna go here, and once they get big enough, I'm gonna start trellising them up this net along the fence. And I have the netting goes all the way over here to like right here where the bird water is. So they have a long way to trellis, plenty of room to spread, and I'm hoping that's exactly what they do, and that I get lots of tomatoes from them. So we'll see, fingers crossed. Changing plans. It's too hot. My phone's overheating, I'm overheating, so we're gonna call this a day, a wrap, I mean, for today. I'm so hot I can't even think straight. And I'm gonna pick back up on another day. But I just have a few more things to do back here, and I also realized that I didn't show you guys nothing that was growing back here. So we'll come back and do that a different day. All right, y'all.